Rick Violet, and in my office we always have on Capital OTB TV.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. It's a little bit of a letdown weekend after a big weekend of racing over the Breeders' Cup weekend. Nonetheless, some great stakes racing action, including some terrific two-year-old racing from Kentucky and New York. We are going to begin, however, in New Jersey at the Meadowlands for a pair of ungraded stakes races on Saturday evening. We're going to first take a look at the Honeybee for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares at 1 mile and a 16th going on the main track. Let's head down to New Jersey on the running of the Honeybee.
And they're off. It was a clean start for everyone. Schedule pushing from the inside for the early lead. Racing in second, just off her flank there is After the Tone. Picnic Theme between horses third. DeFrere's Venture is caught just a bit wide entering the turn there. Saving ground on the inside as Fleet Bellotto gains some spots. Also at the rail advancing is Grab Bag as they head around the turn, along with Diablo, and at the back of the pack, 8th and last on the outside is Ask Queenie. They make their way onto the back stretch, and Schedule is on a free-running early lead. She's 2 lengths on top. Picnic Theme is second the quarter in 23 and 1. Fleet Bellotto on the inside races in third. Up on the outside is Diablo, who's fourth, and now she's moving closer, just 3 lengths from the lead. After the Tone is in behind horses. DeFrere's Venture passes her toward the outside. Grab Bag is seventh, and Ask Queenie has lost touch with the field so far as they near the half-mile pole. The half time was 46 and 3, and Schedule is the pacemaker as they hit the far turn. Diablo is tracking her just 1.5 lengths away as they head toward the 3/8 pole. DeFrere's Venture is called on for run and looks to quicken on the outside, but Schedule scoots away now, and Schedule is out there with a 2-length lead, 5/16 out. Diablo is trying to come to her from second. Further back to DeFrere's Venture. Then it's Fleet Bellotto in fourth as they pass the quarter full, 6 furlongs in 1:10 and 3, and Schedule is on the lead at the top of the stretch. Diablo is under left-handed urging, but is 4 lengths from her in second. DeFrere's Venture is racing in third. It's Schedule at the 8th pole, and Schedule is kicked away now to that 4-length advantage. DeFrere's Venture on the outside moving towards second. Diablo is right there to her inside. They're coming down to the finish all the way for Schedule, and Schedule does win it. It was tight for second between DeFrere's Venture and a hard-charging Ask Queenie.
This race did come off the turf and still came up a pretty nice race. The Honeybee for older fillies, and Schedule picks up the victory by 1.5 lengths. A fairly widely traveled British bred getting a big victory here over DeFrere's Venture with Ask Queenie. Finishing back in the third spot, favored in the field was Diablo under Joe Bravo, who made a nice middle move but was unable to continue on through the stretch to finish fourth. The winner's Schedule, a dark bay or brown 4-year-old daughter of Brian's Time from Jode by Danzig, was bred in Great Britain by the JFB stable, owned by the breeder and trained by Alan Goldberg. Ridden to victory by Eddie King Jr. Schedule completes the 1 mile and a 16th at the Meadowlands in 1:44 flat. Back to the Meadowlands now for 2-year-old racing in the Stormcat Stakes. This is for the youngsters going 1 mile and a 16th, a stretch out 2-turn distance. Let's head down to New Jersey in the running of the Stormcat.
Ready for a start. And they're off. Rockin' Hoss was off awkwardly and is the early trailer. Pegasus by Storm from between horses for the lead. St. Augustus ranging up on the outside. His stablemate Up and Active is right there at the rail. So these three are across the track as they move on to the clubhouse turn. Greg got even fourth. The Village Vicar is fifth in between horses. Willens is sixth on the outside, but just 2.5 lengths from the lead. After a tardy break, Rockin' Hoss is the trailer, and St. Augustus pokes ahead in front. The quarter was up in 23 and 2 as they head on to the back stretch. Up and Active is second. Pegasus by Storm is in some traffic there in third. Willens is ranging up on the outside from fourth. The Village Vicar trying to maintain position. He's only 3 lengths from this tight pack as they head down the back stretch. Moving up to his inside as Greg got even, and far behind is Rockin' Hoss, who trails the field. The half in 46 and 4, and they have half a mile to run. Up and Active and his stablemate St. Augustus are stride for stride. Pegasus by Storm starts to move up to challenge challenge them as they head onto the far turn. On the far outside is Willens, who lays just off the 3-ply battle. Then toward the inside, Greg got even as 5th. The Village Vicar is 6th. And trailing the field all the way is Rockin' Hoss, and Pegasus by Storm has taken the lead. It's Pegasus by Storm as they come to the quarter pole. 6 furlongs in 1:11.1. Willens is set down for the drive, trying to rally up to him on the outside. Pegasus by Storm running greenly. Willens forced a bit wide, trying to regather his momentum. St. Augustus third as they reach the 8th pole. Pegasus by Storm wandering all over the racetrack, but still leading it. Willens trying to get to him on the outside. A 16th out. It's Pegasus by Storm continuing on, and Pegasus by Storm a length and a half in front. Willens was second. St. Augustus was third.
Pegasus by Storm picking up the victory in the Stormcat. In fact, a grandson of the great stallion himself, showing good early speed, dropping back and letting the front two duel it out, and made a nice move from off the pace from under Jose Caraballo. Willens running in the second spot with St. Augustus involved in that pace duel up front, holding on for third. The winner, Pegasus by Storm, is a 2-year-old son of Fusaichi Pegasus from Hidden Cat by Stormcat. He was bred in Kentucky by the Hidden Creek Farm and is owned by the breeder, trained by Michael Matz, and ridden to victory by Jose Caraballo. Pegasus by Storm completes the mile in a 16th at the Meadowlands in 1:44 flat. We're going to head to Churchill Downs now for a pair of stakes races on Saturday for the 2-year-olds, beginning with the Grade 3 Pocahontas at a mile for 2-year-old fillies. Let's head to Churchill and the running of the Pocahontas.
The gate. Off and running in the Pocahontas. Perfect start. Maggie Slew broke on top from the far outside. Motions flashing early speed as well. French Park in the early mix. Up the inside comes My Kind of Saint punching through. Up onto the main track they go. My Kind of Saint gets ahead in front of Motion second. French Park's in third. Dance Daily is 3 off the pace, racing in fourth now. More Than Pretty fifth by 2.5 more. And they're followed up by Maggie Slew in between fillies. Trippy Street, Performing Diva next along the inside. Cool Wind is 4 wide and just 6 lengths out of it. They're well bunched early. 2.5 back to Lady Danza. Tricks Pick second last. And Wild Tonight at the back of the pack. 10 front to back. The quarter was quick and contested. 22 seconds flat. It's My Kind of Saint and David Flores, 3 parts of a length in front. Motion pressing the pace under John Jacinto second. Performing Diva and Mike Smith drafting in behind the top pair. Third at the rail. French Park fourth. Dance Daily 3 wide fifth. More Than Pretty on the move in sixth. There comes Cool Wind advancing up into the teeth of things. Trippy Street along the inside. Next by 3 more to Lady Danza now. By that Maggie Slew. Then Tricks Pick and Wild Tonight is at the back of the pack. The half in 45 seconds flat as they turn for home in a stretch drive. Dance Daily taking the lead off the turn. French Park is kicking back gamely along the inside. 2.5 back to Cool Wind racing in third. Lady Danza on the far outside comes on, and Trippy Street starting to roll from the back of the pack. French Park and Gidry retaking the lead. French Park goes clear. Dance Daily coming on. Here comes Trippy Street. French Park, Trippy Street runs out of ground. French Park and Mark Gidry winning the Pocahontas. Trippy Street second, and Cool Wind was third, and Lady Danza in 1:37 flat.
French Park runs her record to 2:42 lifetime off a 12.5 length victory in her career debut at Keeneland. She was entered in stakes company here and moved up quite capably as the 2-1 favorite in a full field of 12, winning by a length and 3/4 from Trippy Street, who rallied nicely from off the pace, as did Cool Wind at 11-1 to rally into the third spot. The winner, French Park, is a Grayer-Roan 2-year-old daughter of Ecton Park from Alarming Prospect by Darn That Alarm. Bred in Kentucky by Marvin Delfiner and owned by the Steve Stans stable, and trained by Helen Pitts and ridden to victory by Mark Gidry, French Park completes the mile at Churchill in 1:37 flat. Right back to Churchill now, and the Grade 3 Iroquois for 2-year-olds. Once again, the flat mile out of the chute at Churchill Downs. Let's head back down to Kentucky, the running of the Iroquois.
All set. Off and running in the Iroquois. Another good even start, right place and time to the front. Joined quickly by High Cotton punching up the inside. Lady flashing early speed. And Brassy Prince is fourth on the far outside. Sharp Attacks moving up in traffic. Mr. Pinstripe down on the inside, followed up by Mondavi now. Charlie Tango 6 off the pace early. Grand Survival settling down in mid-pack early, followed up by Cat coming at you down along the inside. Then it's Red Raymond. Testimony second last, and the favorite Flanders Fields at the back and wide. But just 6 or 7 off the pace pace. They're well bunched up the backside here through the opening quarter mile in 22 seconds flat. So strong fractions on once again. Right place and time ahead. High Cotton second. Sharp Attack is 3 wide racing in third. Mondavi tracking from the 4th spot now. Ladies racing in traffic 5th. Grand Survival gains up on the far side. Mr. Pinstripe down along the inside. Here comes Flanders Fields turning to rev up on the far side. Going right by Charlie Tango now. Red Raymond next by a couple more to Testimony. And Brassy Prince at the back of the pack. The half mile down the straight in 45 seconds flat. Around the turn of the quarter pole they come and they turn for home. High Cotton cuts the corner. Opens up under Javier Castellano. High Cotton now leading it by 2. Mr. Pinstripe up the inside. Plugs away in second. Grand Survivals in third. Whips out on Flanders Fields on the far outside. Down to the final furlong. And slipping up the fence comes Mondavi. Here comes Cat coming at you. Charging on the inside of High Cotton. Cat coming at you. Striking the front. Cat coming at you. High Cotton. Cat coming at you. And Bejarano by a neck in the Iroquois. High Cotton second. Mondavi and Mr. Pinstripe in 1:36 and 1.
Cat coming at you picks up his first stakes victory. Last time out, finished a good second in the Breeders' Futurity to Dawn of War. This time gets the pace that he needs. A little bit contested up front, and Cat coming at you was reserved early and was able to split horses from behind a wall of horses at the top of the stretch to win gamely by a neck over High Cotton back to a distance that I think suits him a little bit better here. And Mondavi at 72-1, completing the order of the top 3. The winner, Cat Coming At Ya, is a 2-year-old chestnut son of Tale of the Cat from Certainly a Star by Red Ransom. He was bred in Kentucky by Thomas McCann and is owned by the breeder. Apparently he was entered in the sales at least once, never met his reserve, and has been held on to by his connections, who are obviously quite pleased that they did not get their reserve when they went to sell him. Trained by Eddie Keneally and ridden to victory by Rafael Bejarano, Cat Coming At Ya covers the mile at Churchill in 1:36 and 1. We're going to head right back to Churchill Downs now, and a Sunday co-featured the Cherokee Run Handicap. $70,000 plus for 3-year-olds and up, sprinting on the grass. Let's head back to Kentucky, the running of the Cherokee Run.
Farther back, it's Bayou Buster, gets a crack of the whip from third. Ridge Runner's on the far outside. Here comes Midwatch at the rail down to the final furlong. Ridge Runner coming fast to the outside of Chosen Chief. Here comes Atticus Christie. Atticus Christie from the back of the pack to strike the front late. Ridge Runner kicks back Atticus Christie. Atticus Christie and Robbie Alvarado easy at the line by nearly a length over Ridge Runner. And it was Chosen Chief and Rockhurst.
Atticus Christie covers the 5 furlongs effectively enough. Despite the yielding surface, the final time was quick. From well back off the pace, breaking from post position 1, this horse had finished 3rd last time out at Woodbine in the Nearctic, a very competitive turf sprint up in Canada. Ridge Runner at 68-1, a reformed low-level claimer from Mountaineer Park, seems to have found himself a home sprinting on the turf, as well as Chosen Chief, who was involved right from the start in that very hotly contested pace, held on well for 3rd. The winner, Atticus Christie, is a chestnut-gelded son of Atticus from Christie Love by Unbridled. He was bred in Kentucky by the Centaur Farm and is owned by Centaur Farm and Dan Lynch. Trained by Merrill Scherer and ridden to victory by Robbie Alvarado, Atticus Christie covers the 5 furlongs on the surface labeled yielding at 57 and 3. We're going to head right back to Kentucky now and the running of the Chalukey Stakes, a Grade 2 $150,000 for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares at a mile. You may remember this race, known as the Churchill Downs Distaff for a number of years. The name has been changed, but it continues on as a Grade 2. Let's head down to Kentucky, the running of the Chalukey.
Off and running in the Chalukey Stakes. Tapping for goal from the far outside. Tempest Fugit hustled away from the inside. Prospective Saint showing speed in 3rd, and Journey Fever. Up the chute they go. Long shot Tempest Fugit opens up by a length and a quarter. Journey Fever tracking from the inside 2nd. Prospective Saint 3rd. Plum Lake Lady 3 off the pace in 4th. Tapping for Golds and up close 5th and 3 wide. And it's Savor the Time. Bending Strings next by 2 to My Row. Gap of 3 back to Misfortunate, followed up by the Gray. Beautiful Bets on the inside, and 3 more. Back to Christy Beethoven at the back of the pack. A dozen front to back. They string out. The quarter was solid. 22 and 4/5 seconds for Tempest Fugit, showing the way at 38-1 by a length and a half. Prospective Saint and Eddie Castro tracking nicely 2nd. Journey Fever down along the inside 3rd. Bending Strings in 4th. Plum Lake Lady still in striking range, racing in 5th. Here comes Savor the Time, advancing through an opening on the inside. Tapping for Gold is 3 wide. wide now. And in behind that comes Myro advancing up the inside as they wind around the turn. Then Beautiful Bets followed by Misfortunate and 5. Back to Christy Beethoven at the back of the pack. Halfin 45 and 1. Winding past the quarter pole now. They turn for home. Prospective Saint. Bending Strings attacking to the outside. Bending Strings and Robbie Alvarado taking the lead. Prospective Saint trying to hang tough. Next by 5 more to Tempest. Fugit up the inside third and Journey Fever. But it's all Bending Strings putting the field away and drawing clear. Bending Strings now by a widening 4 to a game. Prospective Saint. Bending Strings and Robbie Alvarado easily in the Chaluki by 4. Prospective Saint second. Misfortunate third. Then Journey Fever.
Bending Strings picking up only her second victory this season, but she has found herself in major Grade 1 company throughout the course of the year. She was transferred a couple of races back to the care of Wally DeLassy. This is her first win in Wally DeLassy's barn. She picks up an impressive victory last time out, found herself in what turned out to be a very competitive running of the Spinster at Keeneland, and here gets a little bit of class relief after finding herself up against the eventual Breeders' Cup Distaff winner last time out. Prospective Saint rallies from just off the early pace, made a bit of a perhaps premature move to finish second. Misfortunate rallies from well back to finish in the third spot. The winner, Bending Strings, a dark bay or brown daughter of American Chance from Straight South by Hail the Pirates, was bred in Kentucky by John D. Gunther, owned by the breeder, trained by Wally DeLassy, and ridden to victory by Robbie Alvarado. Bending Strings runs the mile at Churchill in 1 minute, 35 seconds flat. Going to pause now for a brief message. When we return, we'll be heading to California and back home to New York. Please stay with us.
Voice recognition betting is now available with Capital Off-Track Betting. Let's take a look at how it works.
First bet, please.
At Philadelphia Park, race 3, $5 to win and place on the 2.
The bet is Philadelphia Park, race 3, $5 to win place on 2. Bet cost $10. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Your wager has been confirmed. Your next bet, please.
Thank you, that'll be all.
All bets, $10. Your account balance is $0. Thank you. Goodbye.
To try the new voice recognition betting system, call 518-344-5700 or 1-800-233-0375. Betting from your phone has never been so easy.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now in Northern California, and Saturday's stakes feature the Silky Sullivan. Grade 3, $100,000 9 furlongs on the turf course. Let's head to Golden Gate and the running of the Silky Sullivan.
Racing. Off the inside, Mr. Splash quickly into stride, with Eastern Sand and Funny Flyer showing a speed. They're followed closely by Eager for Region, and then comes Eyes a Runner with In Excelsis. As they come down to join the course proper, Mr. Splash draws a length and a half to 2 lengths clear of the favourite Eastern Sand. Eager for Region, 3/4 of a length back on the inside, running third. As the pace drops off a little at the 7/8 pole, Funny Flyer gets to 4th, In Excelsis 5th and 3 wide. Eyes a Runner last on the inside. Out of the stretch they go, Mr. Splash by a length and a half from Eastern Sand, and a half length Eager for Region on the inside at the 6 furlongs. 1 to Funny Flyer, and a length Eyes a Runner with In Excelsis 3 wide, a joint last. 5 lengths covering the field. Mr. Splash into the back stretch with a length and a quarter lead. Eastern Sand is perched second. Eager for Region to the favourites inside. A length to In Excelsis going forward. He's still 3 wide, now moving to 4th. 2 in the front of Eyes a Runner as Funny Flyer in his turf debut suddenly loses a couple of spots and is the tail ender. Less than a half mile to go. Mr. Splash dictating the tempo, a length and a half. From Eastern Sand and a head Eager for Region on the inside, followed by In Excelsis, Eyes a Runner, and Funny Flyer completely losing touch now. Around the second turn to the 5/16 pole, Mr. Splash by 1 length. Eastern Sand being asked by Espinosa to go after the leader at the top of the stretch. Eager for Region has plenty of room to come through as Mr. Splash lugs. Eyes a runner gains a little in fourth. At the 8th pole, it's Mr. Splash leading by a length from Eastern Sand. Eager for Region on the inside. Mr. Splash still in front from Eastern Sand, who's getting to him gradually. There's still a half length to pick up. Mr. Splash, and now the late lunge from Eastern Sand, and it's close. Either Eastern Sand or Mr. Splash. Eager for Region third.
Eastern Sand not running like Silky Sullivan, sitting second, pressing the early pace of Mr. Splash and just getting by him in a game effort as the odds-on choice to pick up the win over Mr. Splash, with Eager Farisian back in the 3rd spot after tracking the top 2 almost every step of the way. The winner, Eastern Sand, is a 3-year-old chestnut gelding, a son of Line in the Sand from Jamie 08 by Far Out East. Bred in Florida by the Farnsworth Farm and owned by Michael Bello, Jack Mendato, and Russell Sarno, trained by Jeff Mullins and ridden to victory by Victor Espinoza. Eastern Sand covers the mile and an 1/8 on the turf course at Golden Gate in 1 minute, 49 seconds flat. We're going to head next to Southern California. Saturday's stakes feature at Oak Tree at Santa Anita, the Grade 2 Las Palmas at a mile on the turf for fillies and mares. Let's head to California, the running of the Las Palmas.
Away they go to a perfect start. Along the inside, Mia Demeanor is quick into stride, but Elusive Diva now going to take over, and here comes Star Parade from the outside gate to join them. Dreams in the white blinkers tucks in just behind them with Bond Deal in the white colours, then back to Pickle. Halo Ola is 5 lengths off the leaders. Orbon racing back towards the rear with Bright Abundance second last, and Chase the Gold trails 10 off the lead. They run past the 3/4 pole, and Mia Demeanor goes on to lead it by 2 lengths. Elusive Diva is racing in second, and Star Parade right there third. Then we come back to Bond Deal, who's now 5 off the leader, been followed by Dreams. Pickle is down at the rail, giving them 8 lengths start. Up alongside of that comes Halo Ola. In behind Halo Ola is Bright Abundance in the red cap, been followed then by Orbon, and the trailer is Chase the Gold. They run past a half-mile pole. It's still Mia Demeanor in front, a length and a quarter. Elusive Diva tracks in second. Star Parade is in third. Behind that comes Bond Deal. Dreams is 5th, 5 off the leaders. Then Halo Ola on the outside is Bright Abundance. Now 8 off the leaders. Pickle needs somewhere to run. Alongside of that, Orbon. They come into the top of the lane, and it's still Mia Demeanor in front by a length to Elusive Diva. Going very wide here was Bright Abundance. Homeward bound now. Mia Demeanor's holding on gamely. Elusive Diva on the inside of that, coming home gamely. Star Parade. They come for home, and Mia Demeanor just keeps on finding Elusive Diva, rallying again on the outside. Coming on late on the outside of that is Star Parade. Mia Demeanor going to win it. Mia Demeanor wins it a length. Second, Elusive Diva. Star Parade was third, and there'll be a photo for 4th.
Mia Domina taking a little bit of a step back after having taken on some major Grade 1 company throughout the course of the season, and picks up a length victory over Elusive Diva on the stretch out, with Star Parade switching back onto the turf for the first time in a while to finish in the 3rd spot. Those two pretty much running it 1, 2, 3 all the way around the racetrack. The winner, Mia Domina, is a 4-year-old bay filly, a daughter of Dance Brightly from Madam Pandit by Wild Again. She was bred in Kentucky by Janice R. Whittam and is owned by the breeder, trained by Ron McAnally and ridden to victory by Tyler Bays. Mia Domina runs the mile on the firm turf course at Santa Anita in 1:33 and 2. We're going to head back east now and head home to New York, and the running on Saturday, beginning of 2 stakes races. First, the running of the Turn Back the Alarm, a Grade 3 for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares at 9 furlongs. Unfortunately, a field of short fields, a couple of scratches left us with only 5 horses. Let's head down to Aqueduct and the running of the Turn Back the Alarm.
And they're off in the Turn Back the Alarm, and Asti forgot about the start. Asti with a very, very slow reaction from the gate. A much brighter beginning for Indian Vale, who comes charging right out, and John Velasquez slants the odds-on gamble Indian Vale right over toward those rails. Tattinger Rose is up and on this pace, running second. Waited Out is third. Silent Siren now being rated from 4th position, and a length and a half more to a rank and last Asti. They make their way toward the backstretch, the opening quarter, 25 and 1. That should be no strain on Indian Vale. Indian Vale, a smart-looking early leader for the backstretch run. Indian Vale in front of Tattinger Rose, who tracks that speed. A couple more to Wait It Out, then still 2 more to Silent Siren, and finally Asti. 5 furlongs to go. Indian Vale, the leader from Tattoo Rose. There's been no change. Waited out. Asti now driving between horses. And at the rail is Silent Siren as they head to the half-mile pole. Indian Vale runs the half in 49 and 1. Moving into the far turn. Indian Vale and John Velasquez, calm and cool, 3 furlongs to go. Tattoo Rose has been chasing. Asti at the rail, waited out in Silent Siren now, being asked to produce an effort at the 5/16 pole. Indian Vale still leads Tattoo Rose, Asti third, waited out, and Silent Siren last to make the top of the Aqueduct stretch. Indian Vale past the quarter pole. 3/4, 1:13 and 1. Indian Vale charging off that far turn. Indian Vale has plenty saved, opening up now by a half dozen. Tattoo Rose, Asti, waited out in Silent Siren, all in back of Indian Vale, who was too sharp today. Indian Vale was never headed. Indian Vale sails onto the line in the turn back, the alarm by 9. Tattoo Rose second, Asti third.
It ended up being a pace route by Indian Vale. No early speed other than Indian Vale in this race. John Velasquez gets back aboard after her disappointing performance last time out when she was off the board in the cotillion onto the great Angel Cordero. Here romps by almost 10 lengths as the odds-on choice. Only speed in the field. Tattoo Rose gives futile chase throughout the early going. Asti back on the main track, once again blowing the brake. She dwelt at the start. She did rally to finish in the third spot, but was fairly hard used to get into contention. The winner, Indian Vale, is a 3-year-old chestnut daughter of AP Indy from stakes winner Marley Vale by 49ers. She was bred in Ontario, Canada by Eugene Melnick and is owned by the Melnick Racing Stable, trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden to victory by John Velasquez. Indian Vale covers the mile and an eighth of the Big A in 1:49 and 4. Right back to Aqueduct now in the running of the Grade 2 Long Island Handicap. Fillies and mares going 1.5 miles on the turf course. Let's head back to New York in the running of the Long Island.
Racing in the Long Island Handicap. Kate Winslet breaks well. Spotlight showing good speed. Little Buttercup ranging up on the outside. And Little Buttercup and Mike Luzzy offensive-minded and to the lead. So it's Little Buttercup in front of Spotlight. Kate Winslet at the rail right there running third. Lulu of Amenafi next in fourth. Lattice under restraint in fifth. Olea outside of Lattice's quarters going into the first turn. And farther back is Serendipitous running in seventh. The opening quarter, 24 and 4. So rounding the first of these 3 turns, Little Buttercup in front of Spotlight by a length. Lulu of Amenafi on the outside. Kate Winslet cuts that corner as they come past the stands. Lattice and Olea there together, and Serendipitous remains at the back of the field. Heading toward the second turn, Little Buttercup continues to dictate terms to Spotlight through a half that goes in 50 and 4. Kate Winslet held up with the rails. Lulu of Amenafi, nice and settled to be a joint third now. Lattice is next, 4 from leader Little Buttercup. And then comes Olea, and finally Serendipitous at the second turn. Little Buttercup in front of Spotlight. They've been 1-2 since that opening bell. Lulu of Amenafi covering Kate Winslet up the inside. Then Lattice still together with Olea, and finally Serendipitous is last. 3/4, 1:16 and 2. Little Buttercup takes them back to where they began. Little Buttercup by a half length, but the pressure rising now. Spotlight, Lulu of Amenafi, still waiting for the word go. Kate Winslet still covered up fourth. Then, between horses, is Lattice. Olea has 5 lengths to find now with under 4 furlongs to go. And Serendipitous has been outpaced to this point. Little Buttercup, this longtime leader, still in front going into the far turn. Little Buttercup by 3/4 of a length. Spotlight right there on the outside. Now Spotlight set to take a crack at Little Buttercup, and they quicken up toward the quarter pole. At the rail, Kate Winslet, Lulu of Amenafi now under pressure. Farther back then is Olea. Down the middle of the course, Serendipitous and Lattice is last into the final furlong of the Long Island Handicap. Coming away in front is Spotlight just above the 16th pole. Kate Winslet switched out. Up the inside is Olea. Serendipitous down the middle of the course. Olea running at Spotlight. Yards to go. Olea getting up to win it in the final yards.
Olea making her American racing debut. She was Kentucky bred, had never started here, but did make her American debut. A nice one, a winning victory, raiding along outside of horses, rallying inside, entering the stretch to split horses and pick up a neck victory over Spotlight. Kate Winslet, a nice solid New York bred, stayed on quite well to finish in the third spot. Disappointing was Lattice off a very short rest, a little bit under 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, coming back off of a solid second place performance north of the border in the E.P. Taylor, but perhaps just a little too close for her on the return. The winner, Olea, is a bay 3-year-old filly, a daughter of Theatrical from Solea by Ms. Waukee. She was bred in Kentucky by Belgrave Thoroughbreds and is owned by Prince Faisal Salman. Trained by Graham Motion and ridden to victory by Edgar Prado, Olea covers the 1.5 miles on the turf course at Aqueduct in 2:30 and 1. We're going to pause now for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be taking a look at the New York Stallion Series races from Sunday at the Big A and heading back to last week's running of the Melbourne Cup. Please stay with us.
NYBreads.com, the online home of North America's best incentive program. The latest news, updated throughout the day, plus streaming video of New York bred stakes winners. Check out the New York bred leaderboards for jockeys, trainers, owners, and breeders. Want to become an owner or breeder? Well, the New York Thoroughbred Breeders section tells you about upcoming new owner seminars and farm tours. You'll even find an online sales section with horses you can purchase right now. There's a directory of New York State farms, a stallion registry, plus up-to-date sales information complete with hip numbers and pedigree pages. Thinking of breeding your mare? First go to nybreds.com and run a hypothetical mating with any registered New York-based stallion. And finally at nybreds.com, you'll see why the New York Breeding and Racing Program is North America's best, with over $40 million a year in purses, incentives, and awards. So get with the program at nybreds.com.
Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now with racing from Aqueduct on Sunday. 4 races as part of the New York Stallion Series. Kicking off the program, the Perfect Arc. 3-year-olds and up fillies and mares going 1 mile on the turf. Let's head down to the Big A and the running of the Perfect Arc.
And they're off. Even start. Champagne Ending, Forbidden Sea showing good speed. I Have a Date is right there up and on this early gallop along with Weight to the left, and farther out still, Tiffany's Rodeo. Champagne Ending straight to the front from Weight to the left. Forbidden Sea third at the rail. Tiffany's Rodeo up close running in 4th. I Have a Date now settles back in 5th. Tomorrow's Lady is 6th around the first turn. Then Contenders Emotion, Intergalactic, and Square Dancing has dropped back to 9th. The opening quarter, 23 and 3. Champagne Ending taken in hand to lead, way to the left by just inside a length. Forbidden Sea will track them from 3rd. Tiffany's Rodeo gallops along in 4th. I Have a Date, 5 lengths adrift from Champagne Ending as they head to the half-mile pole. Tomorrow's Lady in the clear on the outside, 6 or 7 from the front. Then still 2.5 lengths back to Contenders Emotion, Intergalactic, and finally Square Dancing. Half-mile and 48 and 2 going into the far turn. Pablo Fragoso and Champagne Ending. Champagne Ending moving well in front of Weight to the left. Still 2 more to Forbidden Sea driven 3rd. Tiffany's Rodeo, 1 paced in 4th. At the rail, I Have a Date is 5th. Tomorrow's Lady 6th. Leaving the far turn, 3/4 and 1, 12 and 2. Champagne Ending has led them a long way. Champagne Ending in front by 6. Way to the left on the outside, Forbidden Sea, but they're coming inside the final half furlong. Here's Champagne Ending. Champagne Ending made every yard a winning one. Champagne Ending in the Perfect Arc division by 6. Forbidden Sea, the runner-up. Square Dancing 3rd. Way to the left was 4th.
Champagne Ending runs her record to 2 for 2 on turf under Pablo Fragoso with a romping 6+ nearly 7-length victory under a hand ride. Forbidden Sea picks up the 2nd spot as Square Dancing rallies from far back off the pace. Champagne Ending moved onto the turf in Allowance Company last time out. Handled it very impressively, and here continues that streak a little bit late in the season, unfortunately, to decide that this horse likes the turf course, but she certainly handled it very, very well. Champagne Ending is a chestnut daughter of Precise End from Dark Champagne by Hooched. She was bred in New York by Says Who Thoroughbreds and is owned by Sovereign Stable and Gatsis Thoroughbreds. Trained by John Terranova and ridden to victory by Pablo Fragoso. Champagne Ending covers the mile on the Aqueduct turf in 1:36 and 4. Next up, we're going to continue with New York Stallion Series events and the Great White Way, this $125,000 six-furlong event for New York Stallion sired 2-year-old colts and geldings. Let's head down to New York and the Great White Way.
Away and running in the Great White Way division. Trick Meeting breaks right on cue. Surfing Ian showing good speed. And here's Classic Pack now whipping up the pace as they race up the backstretch. It's Classic Pack. Onto the gun, though, from Surfing Ian right there on the outside. Trick Meeting now eases back to track them from third. At the rail is Tough and Easy alongside River Squire. And quite a separation back there. No offense early on from Hey Mr. DJ running in sixth. The opening quarter, 22 and 1/5 seconds into the far turn. Classic Pack just holding Surfing Ian by a half length with 3 furlongs to go. They have 3.5 lengths on Trick Meeting in third. Tough and Easy fourth. River Squire 6 lengths back at the quarter pole and well back being pulled up. Hey Mr. DJ pulled up as they turn for home. Surfing Ian head to head with Classic Pack. Half mile 45 and 1 in the final furlong and a half. At the rail, Classic Pack, Surfing Ian, shoulder to shoulder just above the 16th pole. Trick Meeting running in third. Classic Pack and Surfing Ian coming down toward the wire. Classic Pack with just a bit more resolve. It will be Classic Pack. Classic Pack prevailed in the final 16th. The best, Surfing Ian. Trick Meeting third.
Classic Pack coming in off of a third-place performance in the Sleepy Hollow last time out. 2 back, won the New York Breeders' Futurity out at Finger Lakes, and here rebounds for a nice victory on the front end. Perhaps the shortening up of the distance suited him nicely. Surfing Ian running well to finish second after pressing the pace. Trick Meeting completing the top 3. The winner, Classic Pack, is a bay colt, a 2-year-old son of Regal Classic from 3-Pack by Stacked Pack. Bred in New York by John T. Becker and owned by the breeder, trained by Ramon Mike Hernandez, and ridden to victory by Pablo Fragoso. Classic Pack completes the 6 furlongs at the Big A in 1:11 and 1. Next up, we're going to head back to the turf and the running of the New York Stallion Series Cormorant Division, $100,000 for older horses at a mile. Let's head back down to the Big A and the running of the Cormorant.
And they're off. Level start. Dylan's Destiny, Unnerving showing speed. Retribution is right there too now to join the fight on the front. Retribution up to a short lead from Unnerving. Dylan's Destiny third. Red Down South fourth. Pay Attention is fifth. Incredible Speed sixth at the clubhouse turn. Ryan is Flying. Brown Saving Thanasi. Farther back is Shoot the Breeze, and Win with Beck is dropped back to last. Routing the first turn. Retribution now working out in front of Unnerving, who will concede the front to Retribution. 23 and 1 the opening quarter. Up the backstretch they go. Retribution now flying solo. Unnerving just sizing him up from that second spot. Farther back then between horses, Pay Attention. On the outside, Incredible Speed right there fourth. Dylan's Destiny is fifth. Still 4 more lengths back to Red Down South Thanasi. 5 more to Ryan is Flying, Shoot the Breeze, and Win with Beck while ground saving, but at the back of the pack. Half mile covered in 47 and 1. Field moving into the far turn with Retribution to catch. Retribution, a 2.5 length leader. Unnerving, still tracking that speed. Pay Attention is third. Incredible Speed fourth. Dylan's Destiny, Thanasi on the far outside. Red Down South, Shoot the Breeze. Win with Beck, ground saving both turns. And Ryan is Flying. 3/4, 1:12 and 1. Down to the final furlong. Retribution, this longtime leader, staying on. Unnerving, they've been 1-2. Win with Beck with a belated bid toward the rail. Pay Attention, and Red Down South now threading through traffic late, but coming down toward the wire. Here's Retribution. Retribution, wire to wire. Unnerving second after chasing throughout. Red Down South third from Shoot the Breeze and Win with Beck.
Retribution, another horse who has taken quite nicely of late to the turf. In fact, in his last 2 starts, he zipped through allowance conditions, non-winners of 1 and non-winners of 2, moves into stakes company and picks up a 5-2 victory on the front end just about every step of the way. Unnerving, giving futile chase throughout the running as Red Down South makes his usual bid from off the pace to finish third. The winner, Retribution, is a bay gelded son of Robin Gin from Adnara by Strawberry Road, bred in New York by the Sabine Stable and owned by our Canterbury Stable. trained by John Hertler. In fact, just picked up the training duties on this horse. Ridden to victory by Cornelio Velasquez. Retribution covers the mile on the turf at the Big A in 1:37.1. One more event from the New York Stallion Series on Sunday. That the Fifth Avenue division for 2-year-old fillies. Again, New York sired. The purse $125,000. The distance 6 furlongs. Let's head back to New York and the Fifth Avenue division of the New York Stallion Series.
And they're off. Little Miss Zip out to a fast start. Live by Request running for purse money only, and she tackles her right away. No Reason running from the rail. On the outside is Princess Sweet as they race up the backstretch. It's No Reason right there between horses. Little Miss Zip, and outside them, Live by Request. Princess Sweet off that 2-day rest. She's coming up on the far outside past the half-mile pole. Artistic Express rides those rails, 3 from the front. And then 4 more to Follow My Dream. On the outside is Vasa. Then 2 more lengths back to Let Her Be and Elegant Deli. The opening quarter, 21-3. Here's Princess Sweet. Princess Sweet with a blitz up to the front at the quarter pole. From Little Miss Zip, Artistic Express running in 3rd, No Reason in 4th, and then Follow Her Dream on the far outside, Vasa. Half mile, 44-4. They're deep in the final furlong and a half. Princess Sweet opening up now between horses, Artistic Express, Little Miss Zip at the rail, and No Reason. Farther back is Vasa. They're coming down toward the wire, and here's a rising state-bred star, Princess Sweet. Princess Sweet wheeled right back into action and a driving victor by 4. No Reason, Little Miss Zip, and Artistic Express.
Princess Sweet, a very interesting filly. She went off as the 3rd choice or 2nd choice in the betting in here, but interestingly enough, broke her maiden by 9 lengths only on Thursday and returned on short rest to run her record to 2 for 2 with a nice victory under Cornelio Velasquez, showing good speed throughout the running, kicking clear by almost 5 to win over No Reason with Little Miss Zip, the favorite at just over 2-1, having had some pretty nice open company a record of her own. Little Miss Zip was probably a legitimate favorite, but unfortunately could do no better than 3rd after running between rivals a good portion of the way. The winner, Princess Sweet, is a chestnut daughter of Precise End from Princess Meadow Lake by Meadow Lake. She was foaled bred in New York by Says Who Thoroughbreds and is owned by Who's Next Racing Team and trained by Linda Rice. Ridden to victory by Cornelio Velasquez. Princess Sweet covers the 6 furlongs at the Big A in 1:11.3. That's going to wrap up the New York Stallion Series. We've got one more race to bring to you. We're going to head to Flemington Racecourse, Melbourne, Australia. Last Monday night on Eastern Coast time, around 11 o'clock, they ran the Melbourne Cup, the race that stops a nation, a 2-mile event with Maccabi Diva looking to win her 3rd consecutive Melbourne Cup. Let's head back to last Tuesday afternoon in Melbourne and the running of the Melbourne Cup.
They're set. Racing in the Cup. The great mare Maccabi Diva jumped away well. Grazing looked a touch slow. Ipopper began well. So did Strasbourg. The Emergent. Lachlan River away quickly near the inside. Portland Singer away fast down on the inside. Kamsky going over their heels, and so is Like a Falcon. Maccabi Diva going to the second half of the field, but has already got over about 2 or 3 away from the rails at the very least. Franklin's Gardens wide out, and Bazelle with Mr. Celebrity. They're all going forward as they come past the 400 the first time. He's got Maccabi Diva 1 off the rails. And Portland Singer has the lead early in the Cup. Not going all that fast, led from Beulah deep around Strasbourg. Mr. Celebrity's out 4 wide, and Bazelle is up about 5 wide. Lachlan River in behind them, followed by Ipopper, who's well placed down to the judge. Franklin's Gardens is around the Japanese runner. 1.5 further back, then Envoy on the inside of Demerger, and Gray's in with distinction 4 deep as they leave the straight. Back behind these horses then is Hugs Dancer, who's outside railings, and then came Vinnie Rowe as they leave the straight from Kinjal. Then Maccabi Diva, who's on the rails now. Great piece of riding by Bossy as they lead the straight to the 2,000. Honours Earned next, followed then by Rise On, a length and a half to Excellent. Vouvray. Behind them is Dizelle. Second last then Like a Falcon. And Kamsky last of all. About 1,900 left to go in the Cup now. And the leader is now Mr. Celebrity's gone around the field to take up the running by about a length and a half. Bazelle is second, Beulah is 3rd. A length and a half further back then came Portland Singer, being followed by Lachlan River. Ipopper is next with Strasbourg over on his inside. Franklin's Gardens is out 3 wide. One further back is Envoy to merge at the centre, and Gray's Inn is travelling wide past the 1600. Next is Kinjal on the inside with Distinction deep around the outside. Railings in the middle. A length and a half further back, Makybe Diva. Back there in company at the 1400 with her is Vinnie Rowe and Hugs Dancer on the outside. A half a length away then on the outside of Makybe Diva came Dizelle from Honazern. Like a Falcon starting to make a little bit of ground on the outside of Rise On. And then excellent Kamsky and Vouvray last of all. About 1100 left to go. Mr. Celebrity is the leader by a length to Portland Singer second. One Umbula. Eye Popper a handy fourth. The outside a length Bazelle. Being followed at the 1,000-metre mark then by Lachlan River and Strasbourg together. Next, Gray's Inn starting to make some ground from Envoy, and further back is Diverger, 2 lengths Distinction. They're trailed then by Railings and Kinjal, Vinnie Rowe. Makybe Diva still well back on the inside as they come to the turn, followed by Dizelle, Rise On, Hugs Dancer, Vouvray, Excellent and Kamsky towards the end. Like a Falcon coming around them, and Franklin's Gardens has dropped out. 500 left to go, coming around the home turn now. Portland Singer got to the lead from Mr. Celebrity. Eye Popper's running on, and then Strasbourg. Back behind those horses now as they come down the straight was Vinnie Rowe, and back behind them here's Makybe Diva. A nation roars for a hero. She's starting to wind up. 300 left to go now. Makybe Diva's racing up. Envoy's trying to go with her. They've got to Portland Singer and Lachlan River. Here comes Like a Falcon and Excellent, but Makybe Diva clear with 100 metres to go. Excellent runs to second. Honazern runs on, but a champion becomes a legend. Makybe Diva has won it from either Honazern, Excellent, Like a Falcon is close up, and just behind those horses then was Lachlan River, Portland Singer, and further back in the field is Kinjal.
Makybe Diva making it 3 in a row, an unprecedented 3 in a row in the Melbourne Cup. Just a fantastic afternoon of racing, and the crowd absolutely going wild. In fact, Glenn Boss allowed the winner, Makybe Diva, to gallop almost entirely around the racetrack so that all of the screaming fans on hand could see her and have a chance to offer their applause as she picked up a tremendous, unprecedented 3rd victory in the Melbourne Cup, going 2 miles. And remember, she had won the Cox Plate and also a route race only about 10 days prior to this race. Truly an outstanding mare, retired now at the age of 7, but yet another fantastic performance from Makybe Diva as she picks up the victory from Honazern and Excellent in yet another tremendous performance and a great ride by regular rider Glenn Boss. Makybe Diva covers the 2 miles at Flemington in 3 minutes and 19 seconds. That's going to wrap up another busy edition of Horses and Courses. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you'll be able to join us again next week on Horses and Courses as we take a look at stakes racing action from around the country. Until then, I'm Jean Wood. Have a great week at the races.